everybody, this is me. Yes, it really is me. I'm just showing you a preview of what we're going to start working with this week. This is where we're at. I am feeling spring. So I've got greens out. And actually, ooh, look at that. Goes quite nicely with my new pink top. So hello everybody. Welcome back to my studio. This is Emma on another beautiful spring morning here in the UK, here in Cumbria. And it's just lovely to welcome you back. What a project we had last time. Honestly, that took us on such a long, slow path, a lovely meander, and I feel it was such a beautiful, gentle way to start the year. Not quite knowing where we're going. No big aim, no big objective, just letting those fabrics tell us what to do and where to go, and I just love that. So I hope you enjoyed it and you're ready for a brand new fresh start. Here we are. So I'm celebrating spring with my lovely new bright pink hoodie, which really knocks my socks off. Little story. I was in the big shop where we buy, oh I don't know, cat litter, goose corn, chicken food, donkey bedding. It's a wonderful place. I love it. It's full of all sorts of interesting things, and I was standing waiting to be served. The chap was busy on the computer, and out of the corner of my eye I just saw this rack, and it had some very pastel coloured things on, some tops, and something, a little voice inside me went, just go and have a look. So I went and had a look, and in the middle of the rack with all these pastel colours, which are not my thing, I have to say, lovely but not my thing, there was this. There was two of them. And this was the small one. The other one was extra small, so choosing was really easy. I just, in front of fortunately there wasn't anybody else in the shop, it was just me and the chap. And I just put it on and went, yep, this is coming home with me. So this is my start of my new wardrobe. I don't know about you, but springtime, you kind of look at the clothes you've been wearing all winter, and you're just really, you've had enough of it. I've had enough of those colours, I've had enough of those tops. And actually my whole wardrobe needs a revamp really. I'm just waiting for the mood to take me, and I'm going to go and get myself some new clothes because everything's a bit worn out, to be honest. You know how you get to the point where I'm patching my jeans, which is great. I'm even patching and sewing up my jumpers, which is fine. I don't mind doing that. It's lovely. There's something very nice actually about repairing your clothes and keeping them going. It's a sort of a wabi-sabi, you know, Japanese kind of, is it sashiko, where you stitch all the patches together on your clothes and you keep layering them up. So anyway, so something brand new to start with, a brand new project. No idea what we're going to be doing. All I've done so far literally is get a box of fabrics out, set the camera up and say hello world. So it's fantastic to have you here. I love doing these videos. I was thinking the other day how actually making the videos is such a big part of my creative process now, because I'm always thinking about how I'm going to shoot this, what angle I'm going to use, how I'm going to make it look interesting, how I'm going to get you to see everything that I want to show you, and as well as the process of the making, which I hope will inspire you perhaps to do some things yourself. So as I say, welcome back. Thank you for all your subscriptions. The numbers just keep clocking up, and I always say it's not about the numbers, but it's about me being able to share it with as many people as possible. So please like and share the videos, you know, share it with your friends, let other people know, because I feel it's a little sanctuary here, and I love to share the peace and quiet that I have going on here with you. So let's see where this is going to take us. I'm going to go over to my making area and we'll start cutting some fabrics up and see what happens. So what I've got so far is I've got myself a piece of cotton curtain interlining, and this is my favourite sort of go-to. It's basically a wadding, you know, for those of you who've done quilting, it's basically a wadding. It's a nice soft background to put things onto, and it gives you a little bit of a bit of a depth to it, a bit of quilting to it. And I have got, as you can see, my lovely box of fabrics that I've kind of picked out from the big box. I've separated out a few pieces. I've got 4 or 5 of those, and I'm just going to cut some strips. And we're just going to put them down and see what happens. We're just going to cut. I'm making these, you can see they're quite a bit bigger than the actual background because I don't quite know what I'm doing with them yet. So I'm just going to cut these strips, and what I might do, I think, is I'll cut 2 or 3 of each one, and they're going to be different widths. Possibly a bit too long, that one, but I just don't know whether I'm embellishing at this stage or whether I'm just going to be stitching. Who knows? And I love that I just get to just play around and see what's going to happen. It's kind of weird because I didn't used to work like this, as you probably know if you've been watching for a while. I used to know everything that was going to be happening, and I had it all planned out to a T, and I knew exactly what process I was going to use and what fabrics I was going to use, and I had it all planned in my head before I would start. Now then, oh, now this one's got, and then you can see it's got a line, a nice crinkly line. Now the question is, do I want it to go cut that way or with that line? What do we think? Like that. And I think we want it sort of vertical, so we'll go with that. We'll cut that one vertical as well. Ooh. I do like cutting fabric. It's such a lovely thing to do. And when in doubt, it's a bit, I suppose it's a bit like mixing up some paints or putting your paints out on your palette if you're a painter. I'm sort of getting my paints ready. This is a lovely shirt. It's got some very pretty little buttons on it. Beautiful little hand done buttons with little rouleau things for fastening them, which is very pretty. And all I'm doing is I'm cutting it up. I don't have a lot of green fabrics, to be honest, but what I have does the bill. It fits the bill. It does the job. I'll maybe do 3 of those. I may not use all of these. I'm just cutting. I'm letting my scissors chop, chop, chop. So I'll just have those to one side like that. What's my next one going to be? Some of this would go in, I think, maybe, or perhaps a bit of this. Got a bit of this nice. This is kind of a cottony, linen-y sort of fabric. It's already got some pretty embroidery on. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm not going to be distracted by it. I'm just going to cut. And just talk amongst yourselves while I'm doing this. You can go get yourself a cup of tea and come back when I get to the interesting bit. So I'll just keep cutting and then I'll show you when I'm going to lay it out. Okay, so I've got this lovely little pile of different shades and different materials. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think. No, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 different kinds at the moment. There may be other ones added into this. I don't know yet. We will have to wait and see. And I was thinking, well, now, am I going to pin these down? Am I going to do a nice little job of, you know, putting them on here and lining them up like this? And I just thought, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do what I did last time, and I'm going to take this to my embellisher, and I'm just going to let the embellisher do the work and see what happens. And let's let the process take us along on a journey again. Okay, so here's my embellishing machine. If you haven't met one of these before, it's got 12 very sharp needles in here with barbs on, and it's going to push whatever I put on the top fabric is on the top here is going to get pushed through, and it's going to sort of weld it to the fabric underneath. It's going to mesh it. So we'll see. Let's just get it switched on. It hasn't got any threads. It just does a pushing action. And if you've been watching me for a while, you'll know this is my second favourite machine after my sewing machine. Well, actually, they're probably equal favourites these days. Right, let's get going. And that's got quite a harsh sound to it. It's quite a hard fabric to push through this, so we'll just take it steady. And if you haven't got an embellishing machine, you know, you can just simply pin your pieces on and stitch them down. You don't have to have an embellisher to do stuff. It's just, I like the effect that it gives me. I like the way it changes the fabrics and gives me unexpected outcomes, which is lovely. So you can see it's already crinkling that piece up quite nicely. Oh, you can see it there. Yeah, you can see that, can't you? You can see that, I'm sure, with all your hawk eyes. This is what I love about the embellisher, is it changes the surface and you never quite know what you're going to get. So I shall do a bit more of this and we'll see how we get on with it. So I'm just going to show you the back because, I thought it had done this. Sometimes the top fabric kind of pulls the bottom one and you get lumpy bits. So what you do is you can just simply pull that off again and redo it, realign it, let out the tension, release the tension, and then just simply embellish it down again. Okay, so this is what it's looking like so far. So I've got some nice crunchy textures going on and just different shades and a bit of shine and a bit of matte, and I quite like that. As I say, I have no idea what we're going to be doing with it next, where it's going to go, but what I'm going to do first of all is I'm just going to trim these little bits back a little bit, because I obviously overcut them, but I always cut them bigger because you never know how it's going to work with an embellisher, how much scrunching it's going to do of the fabric. And obviously you could do a little sample and check it out, but I was just being wild and reckless and just saying, hey, let's see how it goes. I'll just trim these back a little bit as well. I'm not cutting these off completely close to the backing fabric because I don't quite know what this is going to be or how it's going to turn out. So what I will do is I'll try and show you the back. So that's reasonable now. It's obviously got a little bit scrunched in places, but that's just because of the different fabrics, and that'll okay. It'll even out once we get stitching and stuff into it. It always moves the fabric a bit, and you can see where the top fabric has punched through into the bottom fabric, and that's what holds it in place. That's what felts it in place, if you like. And it's just a marvellous machine. As I say, if you haven't got an embellishing machine, you could simply cut those pieces of fabric, pin them on and stitch them on, and you'd get just a slightly different effect, okay? You wouldn't get this scrunchiness of them. The scrunchiness of them wouldn't happen, but you know, you get a very nice mixed stripy background for whatever is going to come next. So I'm quite liking how it looks. I'm liking the textures we're getting. I'm liking the different effects of the light across the different fabrics, but I've absolutely no idea what's going to be next, so we shall have to wait and see. Thoughts, or no thoughts actually. I'm trying not to think about it. We will see what happens next, and I just want to thank you again for being here. Thank you so much for subscribing. Don't forget to leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Anyway, thanks again. I'll see you next week in my studio, and we'll see where we're gonna take this next. Ba ba da ba da ba da ba ba.